patient is Josie. Now, we are given information that she is known as, she is 65 years old, she has type 2 diabetes, well, we also know that has low back pain, and her height is 5'2", 166 pounds, which means we can calculate that for her BMI, which is known to be obese. And we know that she is hypertension, pre-hypertension to be more exact, with her blood pressure being 156/95, as well as her cholesterol being 210, which is pretty high for an average person. So we have a lot to work with. So basically, the main goal is trying to get her better by increasing her strength, her cardiovascular, and improving her flexibility. So before I can actually start testing on her, like actually helping her get better, we actually have to do a little bit of testing and screening to make sure that she's able to go out. So I let her fill out a Part Q plus, as well as a consent form saying we're going to do these exercises and due to your conditions it might be a little hard on you. Are you ready? As well as seeing that by filling out everything in the screening we did, we knew she was at high risk. So we needed medical permission, medical approval to say, all right, you're good to go, you can do the exercises, but you will need supervision. Improve her strength, cardiovascular, and flexibility. So to test where her angle is, like what her level is right now, I'm thinking of doing a 1-rep max test, a sit and reach test to test flexibility, and a form of treadmill to test her cardiovascular. So for the 1-rep max test, it's pretty simple. You pretty much just pick up a weight and see how much you can do it at the time. In this case, it would be best if we do bench press, squat press, stuff like that. But for me personally, I think since she's 65 and with a little heart problems, by lying down on the bench or squatting, she could be scared. So I'm thinking of doing a bicep curl. Although it's not very formal, we can see an average, a rough, very rough estimate to her 1RM, her strength. So we could say probably around 40 pounds, if it's easy. Now for a sit and reach, we could probably do, it's for flexibility, where she has to sit down and try to touch her toes as much as possible. And another test we can do is a goniometer to tell her to do, like, bend her knee inward, stretch it out, or arms to just measure her angles that we get compared to people around her age. And I stated that she has low back pain, so it might be off a little bit, and we won't get it as the best results that we want. But moving on. And as for a treadmill, we are going to do something that I learned recently called the Vogue test, which is basically we test like their cardiovascular levels to see how much oxygen intake they get. And the cool thing about a bulk test, a treadmill, is I can choose how fast and she's gonna go, how much I can increase the incline, which is the level there. So I'm thinking maybe 0.5 and maybe keep it at 2 miles per hour to see when she can give out and see get a rough estimate. So next we move on to a rationale. A rationale is pretty much just talking about like what the plan is and stuff like that. So rationale, mine is obviously we have a 6-month plan with her to get her better and everything. And as well as, like I said, we need a strength, flexibility, and cardiovascular increase with her. So my estimate is going to be talking about the goal. My goals are going to explain what I'm going to do with her. But like I said, I want to increase her flexibility, her strength, cardiovascular, which could be done with machines, free weights, walking, treadmills, things like that, yoga. And for me, I actually want her to do a checkup probably every month or so, mainly because of the heart failure that she has. That kind of worries me. And for those of you who don't know, a heart failure is pretty much when the heart can't pump out as much blood as is needed in the muscles. And as well with type 2 diabetes, it doesn't help, but it keeps the muscles from getting as much insulin, which is the sugar that we use to perform the. Overall, it's going to be a 6-month program, and it's going to be very hard. So pretty much simple. Rationale, 6-month plan, working on strength, flexibility, cardiovascular, and get a checkup every month or so to make sure everything's okay, nothing out of the ordinary, and that we're getting the results that we want. Now coming into my goal, which is a pretty straightforward plan, I divided the 6 months into 2 months plans, which is known as Meso 1, Meso 2, and Meso 3. So my main goal, which is macro, which is right here, as I stated right here, improve strength, muscular strength to be exact, flexibility, I'm writing like a doctor, and cardio. So my main plan for Meso 1, this month or 2, is actually introducing her to the various stretches that can be performed in yoga. For those of you who don't know, in exercise we divide stretches into different categories. Static means you don't move at all, dynamic movement, and PNF, which means stretching that you get assisted from an inanimate object like an elastic band or a resistance band, or by a teammate or an instructor. So by introducing her right there, we can probably aid in the flexibility, my apologies, to increase her little by little, as well as focusing on trying to get rid of that main thing that I talked about, low back pain, because that will hinder in our strength program right there, since yoga and flexibility aids in the low back pain. And while we're doing this, I'm not going to focus too much on this since I want her to do that on her own time. So I'm going to need her 5 times a day, so at least 2 days with this. But the main goal with this one is resistance training. So I can assume she hasn't done any resistance training at all. So what I want to do is light, probably like in the first 2 months, 30 to 40% of her max strength. And we can do with machines, because with machines, the cool thing about machines is you don't have to worry about the waist volume or anything. They target the specific muscles and everything, or they target a group of muscles. So by doing this, we'll increase her for 2 months, and all these exercises will be done within 30 minutes. Because she's 65 and I feel like she can't do as much, I feel confident with her. So we can focus on, like, for example, bicep curls, tricep curls, rowing, stuff like that, and focusing on that. Moving on to Meso 2 is I'm going to continue the resistance training, but instead of doing light, I might do a little increase, to increase it to 5 to 10% compared to the first 2 months. But we're still going to be on machines, so I feel like until she gets used to with those machines that she doesn't need them, we're still going to work on machines up to her. But the interesting thing is I'm going to focus on cardio in this area. And cardio program is going to be 3 days, while training for strength will be 2 days. Now for this one, the 2 month is actually going to be divided. For month 1, if there's any lingering pain from the back pain or anything she's feeling there, I want her to do what I wrote right here, water aerobic training, which means like striding and stuff like that, which I'll be showing later. And just to get off the resistance, just have some light resistance and remove any pain as well as a step test, mainly because I feel like I want to mimic real life activities she might do, like go up the steps and everything, which I'll show later to show how much I want her to do and everything. And as well as the second month, we're actually going to move into a treadmill and a cycling, because with the treadmill, she can mimic, like, walking outside or walking around the house, and I can increase the level of incline the treadmill will have. Well, for the cycle, I can increase resistance, but like adding a few weights on it or anything to make it a little more difficult, but still get some results of it. And as for the final meso, it's pretty much just a combination of the previous 4 months here. The main difference I'm going to do here, though, is I'm going to take her off the weight machines and actually get her on free weights. Since I feel I feel like if everything goes well, she'll be confident enough to use free weights and try to do exercise that will involve like her own motion and learning how to control the certain muscles that will be used, so she can actually get results she wants and get ready for the real world out there. And so that would be 2 days for cardio. As for strength, I'm gonna do 2 days as well, upper and lower, and with free weights and stuff like that. And I feel like we might go back to light intensity, since free weights are a completely different level to say compared to weight machines, where if you drop it, you'll be fine. She has to worry about the weight herself. So I feel like we might go to light intensity, and then since it'll be 2 months, we're gonna increase every 5 to 10. But the reps, which I forgot to mention, will be kept between 4 to 6, but the sets will change, probably 3 sets, 4 sets, maybe 5 sets, depending on how she's increasing, and will be seen in my document by the professor. And lastly, we're gonna do 1 day of yoga, pretty much just to see if she's been doing her exercise of flexibility at home or off her off time, to see if she can handle positioning. Since there's yoga, they have different levels of difficulty, which I will show later. And overall, if everything happens the way that I want to, she'll probably show some results. And by going to the doctor every month, we can see that maybe her blood pressure has decreased, cholesterol levels have decreased, the weight has decreased, but the heart failure will never go away, since that's a condition heart failure, but it might be eased off thanks to everything we've done. And pretty much, we're gonna go straight to the gym and see how we're doing. Catch you there. Alright, so here we are from Meso 1, the first 2 months. So obviously Josie, I'm pretty sure she doesn't know how to do some stretches. So allow me to elaborate. There's various forms of stretches. We got the static stretch, you're not moving. We got dynamic stretch, we got PNF stretch. And basically means that dynamic stretching and it means you're moving around while stretching everything. While PNF stretching is pretty much you're getting help from either an inanimate object such as a wall or resistance band that I'll show later, or if I'm going to show with a trainer or something like that. So basically, before we do any of that, we're actually going to warm up the muscles, just walk around, do circles, do stuff like that. Tell a joke while you're doing this, like, why did the chicken cross the road? To get better, that's the problem. So basically, obviously, for example, this month is going to be focused on upper and lower body strength. So for upper body strength, I'm going to say, for a static stretch, for like the triceps right here, pull it back here and hold it between And the records are probably around 30 to 60 seconds, but since she's not that flexible or anything, I'll probably say 15 seconds max. And then switch to the other arm. And there we go. And as for like the shoulders, deltoid muscles, I'll probably say just stretch around right here, another 15 seconds for each one. And just get right, and for the chest, just right here. Now for the legs, even though I know she won't be able to do this, I want her to do as much. Just try to like toe up. Try to touch as much as possible. That'll stretch the calf muscles right here, hamstrings, and the quads right here as well. 15 seconds, stuff like that. Now you may be wondering, what about the back? You said she had back pain, and you're right, she does have back pain. So for this one, I recommend a PNF stretch, which we have right over here, a yoga ball. Now obviously it's going to need help coming back up after this and everything, but like for this, it's pretty straightforward. You put the yoga ball and you put it underneath your navel right here, eat less round. Underneath your navel, relax your upper bottom of the body. You should feel a stretch in your low back. Hold this for about, at max 60 seconds, minimum 30 seconds. This will be good, because if you do any more, ooh, I don't want to talk about the results. I'm just saying that right there. Oh, I need this right now. Ooh, there we go. These are pretty much a combination of static and PMS stretches. Now for dynamic stretches, we could say like, I don't know if you guys know about this, but Frankenstein's like for legs, so you're ready for legs? Cardio and strength, we could do Frankenstein. Yeah, that's not too regular. That's how I do it. Yeah, opposite. Yeah, right like that. And as for upper body and strength, this is where the resistance bands comes in. Where this case, in resistance for this, we use different levels of resistance depending on band. For this one, this is probably the lightest one we have at the gym. I don't know how much it has, the gym people didn't know. So basically for this, dynamic stretching could be like working out. I recommend dynamic stretching to mimic the exercise you're doing in weight machines, like this one, for bicep curls, stuff like that. And funny enough, I would actually consider this as a machine as well. But for this case, I'm going to count it as a warm-up, as a stretch. So we can do like 4 reps of this to get ready for the machines up there. Focus on large groups as well, triceps, chest right here, and stuff like that. And another one for legs, it could be like, pull it up right here. Oof, that's crazy. You can put right here and do some plantar flexion and dorsiflexion. You can be sitting up or sitting down. I recommend sitting down. There you go. Just get this stretch on all of this right here. And dorsiflexion up here. And lastly, so basically these are pretty much just standardized stretches you can do at home or with me to get warm up. But the one I want to get her into is yoga. Now, as you may have known that yoga has different forms of like, level of difficulty, which I call. So for her, I want her to know from like the first month into like the easy poses. And easy poses could be like the corpse pose, which is pretty much just lying down and just rising this up with the low back pain and everything there. And each one should hold between like a stretch, 30 to 60 seconds. Another one that could probably help her back in this stretching is the prayer pose, which is pretty much head down, stuff like that. Arch the back. And another one could be the cow pose, arch the back right here. As you can see, right now I'm feeling a stretch right here, which could be a little good for her. I want her to do 30 seconds and stuff like that. And for the second ones, we can try to get into more difficult poses, like after the muscles have warmed up and everything. And through the exercise, we can probably go into large pose, the lunges, which is another form of stretching, but I want her to go as far as possible. Ooh, I'm feeling that right now. And probably work on like strength on one leg as well, like one leg. And go back to the toe touches to see if there's any shoulder improvement or stuff like that. But basically yoga and stretching are pretty much just the first month just to get her muscles in shape. And remember, we have to warm up, but it also depends on the exercise we're going to do. Like I said, depending on the machine you're going to do, mimic the machine with your stretches or with the resistance band to get your muscle to like, your brain and your muscle to like, all right, we're going to do this. All right, which I'll show you right now. Let's go. Continue with Meso 1. We're going to focus on some interval training. Apologies for the noise. We're at the gym. So basically, I want to do between 35 to 40% of her RM. And since I did a bicep curl, it's a little scuff. I know. I'm sorry, Professor. I should have done bench or anything, but my opinion, I don't want to hurt her. So I say she could do 40 pounds. That's her max right now. So 35 to 40 is between 10 to around 20 pounds. So what I want her to do is focus on the big muscle groups, which is this case, like, multiple ones and just single ones so we can get more results later on. In this case, I'm on a, what do you call this, a rolling machine? A rower. So in this case, if you've seen the picture right here, can you show the picture? It says like, you know, deltoid, not deltoid, bicep, yeah, deltoid, it says like there's multiple muscle groups and everything. So what I want her to do is grab it. We're gonna do probably at the beginning 3 sets of 4 to 6 reps. So we just go right here. Right here, breathe out, and then breathe in. I want her to keep the correct form at all times. There we go. There we go. And if she feels she can do it, we're going to increase the rate right here to 20 pounds for next day. We're not only going to do this for one day, we're going to switch it up. We've got 30 minutes to work with her, so that's not the only machine we're going to work on. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. And if she feels like this is no easy, we can increase the number of sets she's going to do. For example, the second month I want her to do 4 to 5 sets, but keep it at 4 to 6 reps because my main goal, well, the main goal she wants is, as the doctor said, is muscular strength. So another one we can focus on, if we switch to singular muscle groups, is right here, arm extension. And this focuses on the triceps. So for here, as I said, like also keep around 35 to 40%. And in this case, this machine only has 30 pounds, but so I would just say use the free weight right here to switch to 10 pounds and everything. And just follow the motion and go slowly right here. Keep it at 3. Keep your breathing stable. Don't try to overexert yourself. If you think you can't do 3 sets, just try as much as you can. Take a quick breather, take a longer break. I just want her to finish. I'm gonna keep saying that in the future videos. And as for legs, these are just showing examples for legs. We also got, I'm not gonna show them a whole video because I'm on a time limit. We also got biceps, which is simple, like I was showing in my exercise. But we also got something called hip abduction and adduction. In this case, right here, we will open it up for her and stuff like this. And I still want her to be in the 40% range, but for leg power, we'll have a little more. So instead of doing 10 or 20 pounds, we could probably hit the minimum here of 20 to 25 pounds. And it's pretty simple. I just want her to open up to a point of discomfort. Right now, this is my level of discomfort. Slowly close it back. This is not only focusing on, what was I going to say, on the hip, but it's like we said, gluteus, medius, gluteus maximus, piriformis, all these muscles. Focus on the large group first to get better results on the single one. Alright, jumping into mesocycle 2 is we're going to go into the cardio phase. In this case, as you can see, I have a beautiful pool here in my jiu-jitsu gym. So one thing I was thinking of doing cardio is water walking. Since water walking exercise is good not only for cardio, but we can also do it for your nail bone and stuff like that. Excuse me for 1 second. Let me take out my notes real quickly. I'm not an expert. I'm sorry. As what I said, yes, it can strengthen many tones of the muscle groups and everything. And also, since she has rheumatoid arthritis, I believe that's what's called, with inflammation of the joints and everything, this could be easy on her joints as well before going into like putting on her own weight as she's walking and treadmilling. So the first month is pretty much just going to be a lot of walking right here. We're going to do, as I said, 3 days for 30 minutes. So what we're going to do for walking is just at light intensity, you know. Just go calmly, you know. In this case, we'll probably just go back and forth at the 4 feet mark. See if it's getting any higher, because this blows up to 5 and she's only 5'2". So that's not good. So we'll just keep at 4. And we'll just go back and forth, you know, back and forth. If she needs a little break in between, she can. Go slightly. And I'm thinking of doing this, if it's light in her joints, and I believe she can do it, well, and it's not that much, probably around between 40 to 60% of her heart rate reserves, which you can calculate by multiplying the grade of intensity level, which is 40%, by subtracting her heart rate max with her heart rate rest, and then adding her heart rate rest again, which will be shown in my paper by my professor, so you guys don't have to worry about that. And as I said, it's not that hard. I feel like she can do 10 minutes, 3 intervals of 10 minutes, no problem, you know. She needs a little break and everything too. And between each session, I say 60 to 120 second break interval with everything. Because like I said, these are not as tough on her joints and stuff, and she can get it. But if he feels like it's too easy for her, so I'm like, all right, pick up the pace, go a little faster, go a little faster right here, go a little faster. We're only gonna do this 3 days, 3 days a week, and so that's about 3, 6, 9, 12 days. And say if she's still too easy, go a little faster, go a little faster, go a little faster. Maybe add some stretches in the while it's right there to get her ready for the next phase. This is going to be done in the first month for the cardio. The second month will be in the treadmill and bike, which will be shown a little later. But other than that, I want her to, like, you know, be in the pool, have as least pain as possible. Because if the first month I could not get rid of the majority of the pain, she feels a low back pain. It goes to her toe. And what better way than get in the water that removes as much stiffness or like force on her joints and her back pain. Bada bing, bada bada. Next cycle, let's go. As I said before, in the water room, I was saying that we're going to cycle and treadmill, but that's for 1, 2. I forgot to mention that in the first part, we're not only going to focus on just the water aerobics, we're also going to focus on what we call the step test. Now, for the step test, I want to focus on, like I said, I want to focus on daily living. There's no way she's not going to climb up some stairs or anything, you know. She's going to get tired and stuff like that. So with the step test, I want to build her cardio so she can over here. So basically, there's various step tests you can do, like 3-minute step test, YMCA step test, and all of them require different heights for you. One like 30 centimeters high or a few inches high. But for me, even though those are like proper procedures for me, I want to do something that relates to closer to real life situations. Like for example, I did research saying that average step height is 7.5 inches. So in this case, even though I don't have one similar to 7.5 inches, just bear with me for now. So for me, I want to set it up, we're going to use a metronome, which is just a machine that tells you the beats, but your feet right here. I'm going to set it to the lowest form possible, which I believe is 60 beats per minute. But before I do that, I want her to feel the test, which I'm going to be like 1 foot here, 1 foot here, 1 foot down, 1 foot down, to make her feel the rhythm of it. And when she's ready, I want her to say, this is the 7.5, say this is it. I want her to feel the rhythm. So you're going to put your foot up here, your foot up here, that foot down here. It's going to count as 2. In my case, 1, 2, 3, 4. But she's going to go with the beat, and I want her to at least try to do 2 5-minute intervals. I know it's asking for too much and everything. And she can take breaks and everything as well too. I just want her to try to finish the 5-minute intervals to see that it's possible. I know it's going to hurt a little bit more and everything. And if I see improvement, I'm going to turn up the beats from 60 to probably 65 or 70. So in this case, it'll be like, for her, it's like 5 minutes. Beat, 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 beat. So she's going to do this for a couple of 5 minutes, and if she feels like it's too much, it's too much. That's all right. I'm going to stop the time, take a quick breather. And if you feel any pain or anything up, just relax a little bit, and if you come back, we're going to start the time again. I just want her to finish. So in Mississauga 2, in the month 2, we're actually switching to a treadmill. Yeah. So basically what I want to do is try to mimic, like, you know, real life activity. She's not going to walk or flex around and everything. So with the treadmill, I can increase the rate, which means increase the position, the angle of the treadmill. So, you know, mimic like going up a hill, stuff like that. So obviously we're switching right here. She's already comfortable with the step test and everything. So I feel like she can go, the first week will be no problem. So basically we'll come up here and go. So obviously for the first week, I want her to be at 0% rated the first 3 days. And obviously, as you can see, the slow one is a minute. So personally, I believe she should be here like for about 10 or 15 seconds, you know, like where I get the motion, and then slowly build up to 2 miles, which I want her at. Right here. And if she can grab right here, everything right here. So this is just to increase the cardio, but guess what? It also plays weight on your legs so it's also some good strength training, leg training, cardio training, and everything. And basically my ideal is to probably do like 10-15 minutes of doing this, and if she feels like after 2 to 3 days she's comfortable, we're going to increase the speed. Like 2.5 personally, and she feels that 3. But if she feels like I want to try going uphill, then I'll probably start going back down a bit and increasing the incline. So for me, I can go up to 7, but for her, I'm going to go up by 0.5. So for example, I'm going to go 0.5. She's like, oh, nothing. 1. All right, nothing. I'm going to, okay, if you think you can handle 1, is it okay if I can increase the speed? And if she says yes, which obviously I want her to say yes, we can go up to like 2.5 or 3. Get more of a challenge. Get the workout. Get as close to, like I said, over and over again. Get close to similar activities on Earth. Probably, like I said, we're going to do this for about 15 minutes and with 10 to 15 minutes with a 5-minute interval after the break. And then we stop. Ooh. We're going to go straight to a bike. Let's go. Obviously, we're going to work on both machines on the same day every time she comes to see me. Mainly because, who knows, she might go on the bike, and the bike also has resistance depending on the cycle. For this case, oh boy, this is a fancy bike. This is a fancy bike. You know, I get your position and everything. I'm a little too far back. Oh boy. Easy. There we go. We can just step on the train. So for this case, I kind of want her to be at the easiest, which is anything as possible for me, which is 50 reps per minute. Well, in this case, you can't see in this thing right here. And with these buttons, with this, like it says right here, use red buttons to change resistance. In this case, it'd be good. I can change my gears and everything. So for first, I want her to be 50 reps per minute.
lose your weight, no problem. But if she thinks it's a little too easy, maybe increase the resistance to keep that 50. But then again, as I said, 50 to 60 is easy. So let's say go to 80. She can hit 80. She can maintain it for a while. All right, I'm gonna increase the resistance a bit. All right, this is actually more of a challenge. I'm actually feeling on my legs right now, keeping it at 80. So for her, it should be good. In this case, I want her to at least do 10 minutes with as well as a 5-minute break. And this will be going to increase. I'm saying, oh, you can do 80? Cool. Let's go 90, same resistance. We're finally made it to the last 2 months for Meso 3. And hopefully, in my opinion, if I do the correct exercise and everything, she will get better and everything. So Meso 3 is pretty much just a combination of the last 4 months. Which obviously, I did not stay in my Meso 2, Meso 1 enough. That we're always going to be able to warm up and stuff like that, and a cool down. A cool down would pretty much just be like walking around, do a little more stretching, so the heart rate, blood pressure can all go back down to normal levels. My apologies. Always remember to do a warm up and cool down, kids. So one thing about Meso 3, the only thing I'm going to change though is pretty much just the intensity, and as well as switching from weighted machines, from her to have to rely too much on machines to her relying on her own movements. For example, the bicep curl as I showed earlier, we're going to switch to dumbbells. So everything, obviously you have gravity against your side and you're actually holding this, so you know you'll be some trouble if she drops it or anything. So we could just be like controlling the momentum right there. And obviously there's different ways to hold your dumbbell. Our normal way would be this way as the machine was doing it, but I prefer doing this way and then going back to hammer pose. Notice how I'm controlling the momentum, because with the machine, controlling to make no noise or anything, you gotta control it. Because if you do any swinging or anything, you're not gonna get full results. Another one for triceps could be like tricep hold right here. Where basically, like I said, 3 sets around, you gotta pull it up without moving your elbows and go back down. That should feel stretching your triceps and everything as well. And as for lower back stretches, we can also go back to stretching right here, but also doing rowing and stuff. Or we can do an exercise where it focuses on your leg exercise, but also arching your back, which puts some pressure right there. Obviously, I'm doing the 20-pound weight because that's probably like half of her max, what I believe at the beginning. And right here. So as you can see, I'm putting weight on my legs and everything, but I'm also putting pressure on my back, which shows that there could be improvement on her. It's like, yeah, okay, I can handle this, no problem. Do my 3, 4, 5 sets and everything. As for stretching and cardio, it's pretty much going to be on treadmill and bike. If she feels like she wants to relax, you know, I'm a little sore, get in the pool. As for flexibilities, as always I said, static, you know, stretch around here, warm up the body, walk around, stuff like that. Dynamic stretching, Frankenstein's, or PNF stretching with the yoga ball right here, and as well with resistance band. Bam. If I can get it. Bam. 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 Overall, this is going to be the 2-month program. Obviously, there's going to be an increase of percentage, like 5%. I don't want her on 20 pounds forever. 25, let's go. Leg exercises, let's go. Get on that, get underneath that bell. Let's go for some squats. This is probably a bad form of squats right now, but hey, I'm just showing you a quick example because I'm on a time limit. But overall, in the 6 months, I'm going to switch her off, like I said, weight machines to free weights, because she's now in full control. She doesn't have to rely on machines, but she will still have to continue with her yoga exercise and stuff like that. Bam. Remember, prayer pose to work on that back. And as well as, like I said, put the yoga ball right here. And other than that, that is my ideal goal for everything. And let's just move on to any changes I need. So overall, I'm pretty satisfied with my project. Like I said, I'm not the best at this. If anything, I'm probably just below average compared to my classmates who are amazing. I'm sorry, Professor, I'm trying my best. But the last thing I just want to add is the reassessment of my whole program. Because remember, she has back pain, rheumatoid arthritis, type 2 diabetes, which affects like insulin, arthritis, inflammation of the joints and stuff like that, and the internal organs. So even though my plan is 5 days, I kind of want to start her off at 3 days. You know, don't scare her too much. Actually get her into the program like that. It's gonna affect my time when I want to birth her, but like remember, this is her body. She knows how she feels and everything. I just want to help as much as possible. So I'll probably instead of doing 5 days, which is recommended by like the ACSMM and by the PowerPoints by Professor Phil, I just want to do 3 days to start off and everything. And as always, as time-wise, I want to do 5-10 minutes in every exercise as possible. But like I said, she probably can't handle the pain or anything, so I'll probably reduce the time and probably increase those time of rest between. So she, like the blood pressure, heart rate, everything goes down because of her heart failure. And probably just a cooling of the exercise. And although in some of the machines that she can show her, like in the machines right here, the minimum we get is about 30 pounds. That's and for 1 RM is like 40 to 60 pounds. That's almost like closer to that range. If anything, I'll probably switch to more like resistance bands, like my that I have right here, which has different level of resistance to keep it that way. And for cardio and stuff like that, I'll probably keep more in the water. But not only just do water exercises. I know that's gonna be boring. I'm sorry, but also do like maybe some lunges in the water and everything right there, just to alleviate any pain as possible and everything as possible. But I still want her to do the cardio and stuff like that and increase the strength. As for my monthly, like I said, we might switch to free weights and possibly a 20-pound weight. Might be too much for her, but luckily there's 5 pounds, 10 pounds, stuff like that. Like I said, I just want her to try her best and finish this SI 1 pound with her. That's pretty much just my idea. Even though I want her to be between 40 to 70% of her heart rate reserve, she might be between 30 to 50, depending how she's feeling on these days. Regardless, like, it depends what she tells me. I'll mix it out by decreasing the time on exercising, decreasing the time on rest, or just decreasing the amount of force on the straight. Overall, I think I did a good job for a beginner and everything. Dr. Atkinson, please, I tried my best, and I hope you guys enjoy.